Hey everybody, welcome back. Hadn't even been 24 hours yet, and I've already convinced myself I need to start part 3 of the log splitter retro. And this comes about because last evening, running it just kept overflowing. And I think what's happening is the return is dropping right into the tank, right above the suction outlet, and I think that's causing a lot of aeration, and then it causes everything to expand more and causes it to overflow. For the first couple minutes of running, it's fine, and even when it's just sitting there idling, it's fine. After 2-3 minutes of running it, it starts pissing out the vents. Let's take a closer look and I'll show you what the plan is. Got a little rain this morning, so I got the fan blowing, try to dry it off. Alright, so comes out of the valve, goes through my filter, goes through the new Y, which definitely did what it's supposed to do, and it directs the fluid down rather than it splashing straight in from a T. Then it kind of splits directions up and down. Anyway, what I think is happening, shooting in, going straight down into the top of the tank, but the return, or the suction back out to the pump, is right here. So all that aeration is falling straight in and getting pulled right back into the pump. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna end up needing to add an additional reservoir to make the total quantity more. What I plan on doing is I'm gonna clean this section right here, get all the crud scraped off it and all the grease off of it. I'm gonna drain the tank. Oh, before I drain it, I'll probably go ahead and actually wire wheel this, get it down to bare, clean metal. This is kind of a risky move. I'm going to take some extra precautions, and I'll show you when we get to that point. But you see where it pulls right underneath the return spout. Pulls it right out of there. And I'm certain it's just aerating the heck out of the oil. So anyway, I'm going to clean this area. I'm going to go ahead and pull the drain plug and drain all the brand new fluid out of there, everything that I can. Then I'm going to drill a pilot hole right in here, just a 1/4 inch pilot hole, and I'm going to use a bunch of grease on the drill bit. I'm going to take a 1-inch coupler, and it's like a 1-inch coupler. I'm going to grind clean the whole outside and flatten it. I'm going to cut a hole using a hole saw. Again, I'm going to stuff it with grease to catch all the debris, but right before it punches through, or just as it starts punching through the steel, I'm going to stop drilling and then use a screwdriver or a pry bar and just knock it out. I'll obviously try to pry it out, but I'll do it however I have to do it. And then I'll probably use a file reverse just to clean the edges a little bit. And this is going to be the risky part, where I weld on a 1-inch coupler. Plan is to get the suction for the pump to come out of the opposite end of the return. I want the fluid to basically come in the tank over here, then have a time to get all the air bubbles out and drift over this way and cool down as it goes, and that'll cycle the fluid through the system a lot better, and hopefully cut down on the aeration and improve cooling. And if that doesn't work good enough for cooling, then I'll go ahead and add either an oil cooler or an extra tank to add extra fluid to the system. Alright, so I believe this and the welding are going to be tricky, to say the least. Took the coupler, I just found a reducer that's right size. Even though it's galvanized, I went ahead and ground off all the galvanization. That way I don't have any issues welding. So I'm thinking something like that. So I want to mark where I want this, more or less get my halfway point. I don't want it completely off the bottom because I don't want it sucking crud off the bottom. But I still got to be able to get around it with the welder, and I don't want it all the way butted up against this tire edge. And I got to think about how I'm going to reach the inlet to the pump. So I'm thinking right around in here somewhere. My 3 marks, somewhere centered in there. Let's just double check that. If I put it right there, I can still get a decent weld all the way around it. Yeah, that should be fine. Yep, okay. location is marked. Now what I'm going to do, this is just crap I found on the internet. I'm no pro, so take it with a grain of salt. Not that I think these magnets are really going to do anything. We got some neodymium, I think that's how you pronounce it, neodymium magnets. Pretty strong. What I'm hoping is to catch anything before it gets in the tank. Because this tank is, you know, a hole. I can't do anything with it. It's part of the structure. Now, got a 1/4 inch drill bit. I just lathered it in some grease. Not only will that help with cooling, it should help me keep crud getting inside the tank. It shouldn't catch anything. And as I feel it get close to going through, put a fresh coat of grease on it. Those magnets are definitely catching the stuff. Yep, just about there I can feel it. I try to keep stuffing grease into that hole. Through. Go nice and easy now. I hope that chunk didn't fly through there. If it did, it's probably caught on these magnets, even through this steel. Alright, so now that we're through there, I'm gonna scoop my magnets out just a little bit. Cut off them. Now, I rigged up a hole saw, a 1/4 inch dowel in it. Kind of the same thing here. I'm going to lather this up. Honestly, I'm not worried about the grease getting in the oil. It makes no difference to me. Definitely don't want the metal chips in there. I think, though, once I cut this hole, it should be big enough where I can put my finger and a magnet down in there and hopefully get anything out. I know there's probably at least a 1/2 inch oil still left in there. There she is. Alright, she broke through. And it's definitely moving. A lot. Here she goes. There it is. Let's get this thing tipped up just a little bit so it's not dripping on us. Yeah, let's stop the dripping. There's just ever so slight lip on here. Let's try this tube. Okay. I think the rest of that's gonna matter all that much. might. This is our piece here. No, that ain't gonna matter. I'm gonna leave that there. I don't think I'm gonna worry about the inside either. Well, this is the iffy part. To say I'm an amateur welder is an overstatement. I have no clue about ignition points and this and that. Maybe a little bit, but I really don't see this hydraulic fluid igniting. So here's the plan. I'm going to flood the tank with argon and probably let that flood for at least 5 minutes at 15 liters per minute, or cubic feet per minute, sorry. I've already cleaned up my parts. Good clean brake parts cleaner. Everything's dry, bare metal. I cut out this little backing plate out of copper. What I'm going to do is wedge this through here, turn it sideways, pull it back, and then it's going to go, the bolt's going to go through this guy and be held on with a washer and a nut. And my goal is to, you know, with this plate back here, to keep any potential sparks from getting in there, even though I don't think it would matter. Plus the inside of the tank will be flooded with argon, and keeping a bucket with water and a rag right handy. And what I'm going to do is get probably 3 tacks on it, like 1, 2, 3, then let it cool down. And then I'll do another 3 tacks and just keep working it until all my tacks made up to one full bead all the way around. And I'll keep, you know, take it slow. And I really don't think it's going to be an issue. If it is, got the watchdog on guard. He's paying close attention. He's the supervisor. I'll make sure I don't hurt myself. I'm done with the welding. I'm hoping I can... I don't know if I can be able to pull it back out that little hole there. Crap! Yeah, I don't know if... My goal was to just, you know, bend the shit out of that, but I don't think it's going to make it out this smaller hole. I'm glad I saw that. I don't like that at all. No, definitely not doing that. I'm just going to have to hold this guy in place with a magnet. There's no way I'm doing that. That thing is gonna get stuck. And since I know the argon is heavier than air, I'm gonna plug this. So now the argon should fill up the tank and push the air back out rather than just the argon flowing out of here. Goal is to get rid of oxygen. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to tack weld a little grounding point on. Basically what I'll do every couple minutes, might even just wrap this. I think we can put at least another tack or 2. So now I got to figure out how to plumb that port to that pump. So I'm going to have to disconnect this over here. I'm going to plug that off right over here, wrap this hose around, and probably put a 90 on that outlet there and just go straight up. Alright, so I don't have the right nipple for this, a barbed nipple, so got one coming here in a little bit. In the meanwhile, I'll get this bugger undone, plugged up, and then get this hose off here because I think I'm going to put a 90 in here. I've got a shorter chunk of hose that might fit that absolutely perfect, so we'll see. Yeah, this guy right here. So that going straight to a 90 with that barbed nipple on there might be exactly right. I believe that's the same size, yep. So hopefully that'll do. I'm not sure. No, I don't think I can use that because that's that might collapse, whereas this one won't collapse under suction. So yeah, we're gonna have to stick with this one. If we have to cut this one shorter, we will. All right, I think we're in the holding pattern until I can get that new nipple there. Well, it's been a couple of hours at least. Some days you just got, sometimes you just got them days where everything you touch takes 10 times longer. And it's 10 times more difficult. That's nice to know. There's no way I'm flexible. Son of a bitch. All right, so quick recap. All right, so let's do a quick recap of what we did today. We welded in a new bung. Got the supply side switched over from way over there to way over here. Everything's sealed back up the way it's supposed to be. So now the fluid will come out of the valve, through the filter, through the Y, through the pipe, enter this side of the tank, and gradually migrate to the other side where the new bung is, and then circulate through the system. And I'm really hoping that that solves that aeration problem and it leaking out the cap here and this vent cap here. And then the other thing I did, I took the fuel tank off and kind of did a make your own bulkhead fitting. I don't really like it and I kind of screwed it up a little bit, but it's not leaking yet. I mean, it's only got a gallon or two in it, but I just didn't like how it was filling. Sucked that fuel filter dry almost as soon as I started up, when I had it coming out of here, down and around. So we're gonna try that out. All right, I'm gonna take a few minutes to get this thing filled up, and I'll probably pull it out of the barn, and we'll see how she runs. I don't get why it's leaking. I really don't. Makes no friggin' sense.